I'm being live on YouTube. Let me snag link low key and go. Dan, I just put the link to my Speed Legion page. Can you tweet it on the Go Get That?
Yeah, I just put it on the Instagram story.
Perfect. If you could just put it on the thing, because I have to upload the thumbnail right now.
I did not do the YouTube link, but that is okay.
Yeah, it's all right.
Instagram story. I don't see it yet. Oh no.
Better be episode 88.
Let me look. I trust Stan to give out the right episode number. Although I will provide backup.
There it is. It should be up now.
I'm looking.
Welcome. We're gonna get going in just a second.
Hey.
Yep. Last episode was 87. Perfect. Thank you.
Man. Excited for the best bets this week too.
I grinded.
I've made a comeback. Thank you to Mr. Craig Ranch. Can't lie, I'll say this now. I mean, Ranch just continues to get boned by where it is in the schedule, but it was a bit of a disappointing showing. I can't lie.
Didn't meet your expectations. I mean, you have high
But
expectations.
no, I honestly don't even know who won. Who won?
Jason.
Oh no,
Day.
day one.
Yeah, come on now.
That's chills for day.
He got his second major. Yeah, it's just
chills.
Just I don't know. I was hoping for the score to be a little bit higher. I was also hoping for Siwoo to pull it out, but
thumbnail is up. We're ready to go.
I'm ready to talk whenever you are. I like to talk.
I also like to talk. That is why we do this.
That is why we do this.
Okay. I'll get us started. If Jordan, you want to press the record button, and then I think all our housekeeping things are good to go.
He needs the permissions.
That would be the case.
Done.
Ready.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Welcome everyone to our live PGA Championship show. Looking forward to it. Thank you, Dan, for the name. Our spirits are higher than they were last episode, which is good. We are pumped to be back talking about another major championship. It's kind of flown up on us. We haven't really been thinking about it because we're thinking about Mr. Spieth. But Mr. Spieth is here and he is ready to go.
Sort of.
I think he's good, man.
I think he's ready to go.
I think he's ready to go.
He's as ready to go as he can be. I don't know. Look, I'm sure we'll dive into it. Maybe we are right now, but
Yeah, I mean,
there's the Mickelson by 3. Thank you for that. There's the optimistic output that I think is fun to have. And I certainly am expecting more than I thought I was going to be this week, just given all the, I guess, good things we've heard on the range and the course the past 2 days. But there's also, I have quite a bit of concern about his actual chances to win this week. But I'll let you guys kind of
Yeah,
share what you're thinking right now
I'll
first.
get it out of the way early. We'll get into our bets later, but I will be betting Jordan to win. For a few reasons. One being
and
It's a great
Jordan
number.
dies.
It's a great number.
It's go get that points, emotional happiness, financial happiness.
Agree.
And
There's a lot of value.
I want
Yeah.
to put it like this: if Jordan doesn't win, I don't think it's going to be because of the wrist. I want to get that out of the way pretty quickly.
That's fair.
I'm not too worried about the wrist. If you're going to be worried, just be worried about the rough, not how the rough will be on his wrist, just because on paper it's probably not the most speedy of venues. That would be my only worry. But if you're looking at him to bet him, I mean, he's what, 36-1 or higher, and
Higher.
the
Yeah.
only reason he's at that number is because of the wrist. Let's not forget pre-Wells Fargo, he was the third best player in the world behind Scheffler and Rahm. So I think if he doesn't play well this week, it's just going to be because he doesn't play well. But I think expectation wise, I mean, I have him to win. Obviously, I don't know. He's definitely not the favorite. Obviously, the books would tell you that, and I mean, the eye test would tell you that too. He ain't the favorite to win, but I'll be placing him to win. And my real expectations, I think he can miss the cut, or I think he could win this week. Nothing would surprise me.
Yeah, I'm with
or
you,
playing.
Jordan. I really don't think the rest is much of an excuse. You look at everything that we've seen from everyone on site, it doesn't really look like it's bothering him much. I will say that me personally, I'm more concerned about how he looked at Wells Fargo than I am about the wrist. So my main concern is if he can get back to the play he was playing before his little 3-week break. That's what I'm thinking about. And honestly, I've just kind of come to the conclusion that like it would take a very large amount of pain and damage and how would I say it? Risk for him to not play in a major. I feel like that's kind of self-explanatory. I feel like when the news came out, we were like, okay, this is bad. We probably won't play. But at the end of the day, I mean, I find it very hard to believe he was ever thinking about not playing this tournament. I think he's been pretty much thinking about getting here no matter how it was, whether it be take 4 weeks off after. It's you only get so many chances, right, to win the slam. It's a spot in golf history.
Yeah.
So it's a big deal. It's a big week. Again, I don't know much about the venue, but like it's not a very speedy venue. It's a very US Open type course.
Mm-hmm.
Just gonna hope for
I
the
think there's
best.
some
I'm with you. I could see a miscut. I could see a top 20. I could see a win. I could see anything in between. So yeah,
I think it's got speethy elements, Oakhill, but like there's a lot more unspeethy elements that there are speethy elements. I think, around the green, it fits him more than, a wing foot does. I think these bunkers, the better bunker players will be rewarded when you hit into them this week. But then again, he talked today, and he kind of said those are the type of shots that he might have an issue with the wrist, stuff that he has to get up high and quickly. So it'll be, interesting to see that. At the end of the day, just don't hit it into the bunker. Everyone's talking about the rough and the bunkers. The less you hit into them, you won't got to play out of them. So
agreed.
remember, you start on the tee, which is flat. It's on a tee. Just hit in the fairway. It's as simple as that, is it not?
I think
Pretty simple stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty simple breakdown.
yeah, and Spieth is the simplest golfer out there, of course.
Exactly.
Right? So it's like on paper it all adds up. I do I found it. Excuse me. Choking. I'm trying to think of a choke analogy for sports, but
Brooks at the Masters.
sure.
He
Um,
said it was.
I guess he said it. Yeah, his words.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
yes, lots of chokes and plenty of different masters. We can say that. I like what I'm hearing about the course as well. I do, with guys saying it's a little more US Open-y, because I think that makes it play. I know Winged Foot was a US Open, but Winged Foot was a brute. But I think it makes it play a little bit more Brookline-ish than more like Bethpagey maybe. And they're all, all Northeast golf courses, and they're all pretty similar. And I think a lot of people have said that if you kind of put all three of them together, you'd get this golf course. Also, just from looking at it, drone shots, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Torrey Pines. Just on the
Ooh.
Northeast coast. It's got a very the
Interesting.
holes they look less boring. But I think as the week goes on, we might get a little bit it might become a little bit more apparent that, like, yeah, some of these are just 460-yard par fours with a slight bend to them. But the bunkers look cool, so that makes it a little bit cooler. And I think the greens look a lot better than Torrey's.
No, yeah, I mean, I don't really know much about the course. I haven't had much time to really look into the course that much because I've been so focused on, like, I mean, if Spieth was even going to play. But I think another thing that we haven't really talked about is, like, I think the weather's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah,
You
it's
know, I
gonna
mean,
be tough.
the last time we've seen beanies probably at a non-open was probably Bethpage, maybe.
Yeah.
So that's pretty
Huh,
cool.
that's a good question.
That's pretty cool.
Maybe Harding Park. I mean, I know that was
Yeah.
August, but
Yeah,
it
I
can be a
think
little.
the U.S. Open at Olympic, I remember it was really cold, but that's like 10 years ago.
Yeah, you know, I
That's what came
remember
to my
like
mind.
I remember that like Northeast, that those Bethpage mornings where, I mean, when it was like 40 degrees. I mean, that's tough conditions to play in, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Too bad.
you gotta that's an extra hour wake up to kind of warm up the body, you know. It's gonna be stiff, but gotta play through it. Obviously, we have heard some things about fog or frost delays.
Yeah. I would be stunned if there's not a delay tomorrow. It's not going to be above
There'll
40 degrees until, like, I think 8, like 15 or something like that. So that kind of sucks. Hopefully they can finish the first round in time.
Yeah, that would be
The sun does set around 8:30, 8-ish. And I know that featured groups will in the afternoon will likely be off around 3 o'clock, just based on the delays, depending on how long they are. So kind of sucks, but it is what it is. And tomorrow is probably the most scoreable day, actually, too.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, kind of fun in a sense. You get guys out to 6 under, and then 6 under probably wins it at the end of the week.
Yeah,
just given the forecast for the
a
rest of
few
the week.
people are asking what we think the winning score would be. I'd say right in that like 6 to 10 range.
Yeah,
I think it'll be closer to 10, to be honest.
Really?
I think it's going to be easier than people think it is.
I mean, you just look at like the golfers are just so much better than they were 5 years ago that, I mean, I'm not really blown away by any winning score anymore. Like, I'm just like, we're probably never going to see another winner over par.
No, I think the only way that happens is if they lose the course like Shinnecock, or it's just like 30-mile-per-hour winds every day.
yeah.
I
Those are
still don't
the-
see it though.
The only thing I'd say is that I think the double bogey will be a prevalent score. Like, I think there's double bogeys on this course more so than there are at other major venues. I guess like opens, you can just get stuck in a bunker. But I think the rough,
You get stuck in these bunkers.
you can get stuck in these bunkers, and you can get stuck in. I mean, we've seen guys try to hit out of the rough, and it goes,
Yeah.
30 yards, and then greenside especially too. They leave it short. They hack it out long. Like, I think if you get to 5 under, I think you'd be really, really happy with how you played. You take your chances at 5, I think.
Interesting.
So and it's been back-to-back PGAs. I think it was 5 under in last year at Southern Hills, and then it was 5 under or 6 under at Kiowa. So they seem to have found like, which I think is good. Like if you play one shot under par, the course is par every day, I think that should be good enough to get you a great finish in a major championship.
Interesting.
So
Yeah, I think you said it's going to be the easiest tomorrow. I think tomorrow morning it's going to be brutal. I think in the afternoon it'll be scoreable, but I mean the ball's just not going to go anywhere tomorrow morning.
yeah,
And
and
which
it'll still be a
is
little wet too.
what kind of worries me about Jordan.
Right.
I
I think
tomorrow morning could be brutal because you're gonna have 100, probably 80 yards into a lot of darn holes, and
yeah.
it's gonna show
With
who's
it
got the long
cold,
irons
it'll
on and who
be-
doesn't.
Yeah. I Friday morning, I think it's gonna be blowing hard. So that's the other, it's like we'll see what the scores of the draw end up being as the first 2 rounds play out. But I think it'll be pretty close, and it'll be interesting to see if the wind Friday morning, which it'll still be somewhat windy Friday afternoon as well, versus the cold, not cold Friday morning, or excuse me, Thursday morning versus afternoon. And the frost delay, I think, is a bailout for a lot of these guys. Because I by the time at best, I think Jordan speeds off at 8:22, 12 hours from now. I don't think at best, I think he's off at 9:22.
Yeah,
And so by then it's 50 degrees, and that's cold, but it's becomes a little bit more playable. But we'll see. Just have to wait and see. That's the fun. That's the excitement of championship. We've got great coverage this week as well. The PGA does it the best, in my opinion.
I would
They
have
don't
to
have the
strongly
Masters
agree
app,
with that.
but they have four streams for featured groups. I know they've got a bunch of different commentators. I saw Wesley Bryan's doing the Spieth group tomorrow, which is kind of fun and different, and not Lisa Cornwell. So
ooh, shot fired.
that's always fun. But good groups this week, of course. I do appreciate that they mixed in the live guys to the featured groups. Like, just don't make that a big deal and just put Phil in a featured group and put Cam Smith in a good group and put DJ and Brooks. Like, people want to see those guys play, I think. So
Yeah, I'd agree. I'm not pro live. I don't watch live, but I mean, I think I looked at all 3 of our bets, and I think all 3 of us are betting live guys. So that kind of tells you what we think.
Yeah.
We think they can compete. And yeah, I think the casual golf fan wants to see Phil Mickelson. They want to see 4-time major champion Brooks Koepka play, and coming off a great Masters, and maybe he can get his 5th major. That's uncharted territory. So yeah, it's good to see them mixed in, and yeah, all good things about that.
Jordan, before you go, Bob, do you know if the streams are free on the PGA app or no?
I think they are, yeah.
Okay. So
I mean, I'll be on ESPN Plus
That's
just because I
good.
can get it on my TV, but
yeah,
I believe they're free.
I think I will be as well. I'll actually be at work working. But yeah, working. So no, it'll be fun. It's always a good I have to start watching the theme song again just to get it going, get the juices
Oh
flowing.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's a little bit more difficult to find / repeat than the Masters or the Players.
Yeah,
or
it's all with
Champions. You add Jim Nance's voice in there, which is cool, but
which
sometimes
chills.
I just want to
Don't
hear
forget
it.
SVP. Don't forget SVP.
Yes.
Yes, that's the other
But,
good thing about
no,
ESPN.
Maryland man SVP. Should throw that in there.
I wanted to touch on what Jordan was saying because I want to talk about this when we were getting into our betting segment, but I'll just do it now. Is that like I'm I'm taking the live strategy this week. I just think that there's way too much value out there for some of these guys that are playing ridiculously good golf. And I'll take a gamble. Like, listen, I that's a professional tour, right? Taylor Gooch is shooting like 10 under back-to-back days. Like, I don't care how easy the course is. He's playing extremely good golf to be doing that. So I'm gonna take the gamble. I'm gonna see if the live guys will show up. They did the Masters, so I'm with you. I think that there will be live guys who definitely compete this week.
Taking a gamble.
I
Gamble.
my only concern with live guys is like, I mean, I've got live guys on my card this week, but they're dudes that have won before. Like, I don't think Taylor Gooch is doing himself any favors by, I mean, well, he's playing well, but I don't think that translates as well to a major. But guys like, because the guys who played well at the Masters were Phil and Koepka, who have a combined 10 majors.
10. Not
right?
bad.
Like, that's like, those dudes know how to win.
Yeah.
And so my kind of, you know, sneak peek, but guys like Cam Smith, Dustin Johnson, Koepka, like, those are the dudes that I think actually have a legit chance, whereas guys like Gooch or trying to think of other Neiman, maybe, but I don't think not playing on tour in events like that, I think doesn't help them. Patrick Reed is another one, actually. So
You have like the Brookses, the DJs, the Cam Smiths. They went over with the thinking of, hey, we get money, we still get to play in majors. Whereas, you know, the Taylor Gooches of the world are like, hey, I'm just getting paid. Like, I don't think when he went to live, he really thought about the whole. He's not a major dude. He's a Adelaide dude. There's nothing, wrong with that.
Who, Gooch?
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure
what-
Gooch isn't qualified for majors in a few years, right? Like,
well, he's not going to the US Open, which is kind of a little dumb, but
that is very dumb.
because they changed he was in and then he got booted because they changed the criteria.
How so?
Because he qualified last year by being just based on where he finished in a certain point list, I think he would have qualified, but then I just go to like Phil's Twitter and you can find some stuff about it. He got mad at Mike Wan, so
never a dull moment on Phil Mickelson's Twitter.
No, not recently, that's for sure. I actually, the other thing I've heard about this course that I thought was interesting, video with a little interview, Joel Damon. He was saying that he thinks a lot of shorter hitters, not a lot, but he thinks everybody can play out here. And I thought that one, that makes me happy because I think that's a good thing. But two, it's just an interesting thought, or something that I think instantly people were saying, oh, this is 7,400 yards, par 70, thick rough, you're just going to have to bomb it. And I think bombing it gives you an advantage. But like, if a guy like Joel Damon thinks, I mean, he didn't say he thinks he could compete, but he's not a long hitter. And if he thinks it's still playable enough, then I'd expect to see, who knows, maybe we see Bond. Is Lahiri in the field?
Lahiri is in the field.
That'd be awesome if Bond's up there on the leaderboard, or
That'd be sick.
A Brian Harmon, Matt Kuchar. We just relive Birkdale, but Hill edition. So
I don't know if
be interesting to see. Although I do think there is some rain on Saturday. So that would then kind of put a hamper to some of those shorter guys. But it's brewing for a fun week, I think.
I have an unfortunate feeling that in the end, come Sunday night, that once we look at the leaderboard, that Mr. Damon's prediction will be wrong.
Interesting.
That's just my thinking. I just
What's
think
his prediction?
that a lot of like shorter hitters will be towards the top of the leaderboard and can compete.
I mean, that's me like summarize it. I think he said it will be. I think he said people might be underestimating how mixed the leaderboard might be in terms of longer and shorter hitters.
That's gonna have to be a pass for me as well. Sorry, but
Yeah.
Ryan Harmon is probably.
Well, yeah, given how much you've looked at the course, I think we can take that with the
I mean, it's just like cold weather, long course.
yeah.
They're
I
gonna
mean,
have to be
you
hitting.
do know it's gonna be like not cold all the time, right?
Yeah, but I mean the mornings are gonna be what? The ball's gonna be going 10, 12, 15 yards shorter than normal. I mean, that they're gonna struggle to.
No, I know.
They'll be at a real disadvantage for some of their rounds.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, I'm just looking at the Masters leaderboard and the courses. I know, like, obviously different type of course, but I mean, I just don't see where Oak Hill is going to play into, a shorter hitter's hands better than Augusta does.
I don't think I'm suggesting that it will. I just thought it was interesting that if Joel Damon thinks he said he didn't play great, but he still felt like it wasn't not doable for him to play, if that makes any sense.
Gotcha.
And so I think
nice if he's right.
That's a good thing because I guess the fairways are rolling right now.
Is this a week where Mr. Kisner is going for the T20 paycheck?
I would believe so. Mr. Kisner needs any paycheck at this point.
Kisner would be lucky to break 80 one of the next 2 days, I think.
Wow. Mr. Kisner's had a rough stretch.
He has.
But
the good news for Kisner is it's a par 70. So he needs to shoot 11 over to not break. Oh, nine.
Yeah.
But
His time might be done.
It
might be over for Kisner.
Yeah,
he's in the depths right now.
Yeah, he's.
We were there.
Yeah, we weren't this bad.
It's a little different. What do you guys? Somebody just said they're not looking forward to watching Lowry and Hovland tomorrow.
No, I'm not. Not really.
I'm not either. It's not a great group.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
I don't mind Lowry.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I think
Hovland's just not a fun player.
Well, I'm interested to see Hovland in bunkers. Like I kind of want to see Hovland make like a 10, just because he 4 bunkers, like he can't get out of a bunker. I think that'd be fun. But there's nothing overly exciting about Hovland. Lowry at least has a sick short game, so you could see some shots. And I don't know, maybe Spieth's trying to get a little revenge for the butt kicking that Lowry gave him.
I'm sure that's on his mind, Dan. I mean, Lowry's caddy's a cool dude.
At the match play.
I mean,
yeah.
I just those 2 dudes don't do it for me. If you were to trade any of those 2 for any of the 3 dudes that are in the group behind us of JT, Rory, or Colin,
yeah,
we'd be having a different story right now. But
I
think
saw
all 3 of us are just focused on Jordan.
Yeah, it's Koepka Woodland again after all that kind of Masters debacle. The 5-iron. That's cool. I feel like there was another the Rahm, Cam Smith, and Fitzpatrick, maybe.
Scotty? No, it's not Scotty.
I think the Rahm.
I think it is Fitzpatrick.
I think that's kind of a sneaky group because I've seen some people on Fitzpatrick this week, and I think he's an interesting guy. Because when dudes win majors, they win them
in bunches,
right? And is Fitzpatrick the guy type of guy to win 2 majors? Maybe.
I'd prefer not. I'd rather Matt Fitzpatrick not be a 2-time major winner personally.
Yeah. I mean, he
doesn't sound very good to me.
He's added the distance though. Like he's added the requisite parts to make his game major championship winner.
The cross-handed chipping is going to win a second major.
Cross-handed chipping and braces are not a combination I like to see raising trophies.
Yes.
So, but yeah. No, there are a lot of players to look at this week. I mean, the course is I feel like it's different from something we've seen recently, at the very least, from what I've seen. Again, maybe a northwestern Torrey, I mean a northeastern Torrey Pines, in terms of the rough, but just the design of the course, it feels a little bit like Southern Hills, kind of. But I don't think it will play like Southern Hills. So just from a visual standpoint, I think it's, I mean, Oakmont comes to mind, but just like, again, I don't,
greens, yeah. I can
what?
see that. Some of the greens, like with their square.
Yeah, like this is all from a
Yeah,
visual
Oakmont.
standpoint. I'm not talking about how it's going to play. I think it will play closer to a Torrey Pines, but it doesn't really look like a Torrey Pines.
I think it's your typical northeastern.
Yeah.
Place. I actually kind of see some country club in it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that too. I can definitely see some country club in there without the, I guess there's a lot of water, I believe, here.
I think
Yes.
it's
There's a creek here.
Mr.
Yes.
Creek. I think it's more Bethpage than it is Wingfoot.
I would agree.
I don't think these greens are that severe. And part of that's because they literally just got redone. I think Andrew Green, who did the renovation, if any of you guys watched like the fried egg stuff and the course
Yeah, that was
tour,
really good video.
the greens are literally brand new. They're bent grass greens, which on a course this old is so untypical, but because they're new, they're bent grass. Like no other course in the north, like Oakmont, Country Club, Wingfoot, like none of those are bent. A lot of them have like POA, which is like that old school. Like, I mean, it's old school to have POA, but since these are new, they have bent, which in theory should play into Spieth's hands on the green. It's just getting to the green, which will be, or it could be his problem.
Yeah, I mean that, kind of a subtle transition back to Spieth quickly, but I mean this dude's played 2 rounds since the Heritage, and he did not break par in either of them. And for 2 of the past 4 weeks, I don't think he's touched a club. And I just because he took a week off after Heritage to go on vacation. My guess is maybe they played a fun round or something. And then started practicing a little bit. Then Wells Fargo went poorly. Then he got hurt. Didn't touch a club till this past Saturday. So it'll be interesting, to say the least. But I do agree with kind of the points you guys made earlier. Like, I don't think you can blame this week on the wrist unless he starts like, or his poor play, unless he starts like grabbing it or something. But I just think if he doesn't play well, it's because he's just not playing well. But we shall see. Plenty of opportunity to go get it tomorrow.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
go
he mentioned go get that. He mentioned earlier today, like Ross. I don't buy that at all. I think most of the dudes after the Heritage took time off. Most of them played the Wells Fargo, and then most of them took last week off. Sorry,
I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
I was just gonna say I would give him competitive rust. He's played 2 rounds in the past month.
Well, it's because he missed the cut.
Right. But he's still only played 2 rounds out of a total out of 16 possible rounds, he's played 2.
I think most have played 4 though.
I mean, that's
I'm just
fine.
playing devil's
But I
advocate
think
here,
I guess rust probably isn't the right word for what he's trying to describe then.
I said in our group chat earlier, I mean, the last 20 rounds, he's came in the last 20 majors, he's came in unrusty, and how have those went?
No, it's fair. I'm not, I'd love to see him play well. And I don't think rust is a little bit of a cop-out bailout. But I think in the way he talks in his head, I've played 2 rounds and I did not break par in either of them. So it's been a while since he's played good, but
yeah,
if he's an elite golfer, he does not need. He can afford to take a week off and not touch a club. I think that's kind of the way I see it. And the thing with Jordan this week is
he's had 2 of those in the past month now, though.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you, but like, I don't know. I think if he can just get to the greens, and if he's not hitting it well tee to green, it's just because he's not hitting it well.
Yeah.
And this is where I'm so excited. and where I'm kind of bullish, like I'll say it again, there's not many like PGA US Open venues that have bent grass greens. And that's his best surface. And
Yeah.
there's just not a whole lot of these opportunities to putt on these greens. And that, is something I think to be positive about.
Is Frisco bent?
I
It
it just opened, so I maybe,
So,
maybe,
That the other
hopefully.
quickly, like this might be the lowest he's flown in under the radar at one of these in a while. I guess when he wasn't playing well, it was like, I mean,
Kiowa was a
chances he had?
spotlight.
Yeah, but Kiowa was like, oh man, he could do it this year. Southern Hills, it's like coming off a win at the Heritage, a second at Craig Ranch.
Oh yeah, Byron.
2020, whatever. But like a lot of people, I mean,
2020.
he hasn't been bet at all. Like he reached 55-1 on some books this week, and people really thought that he wasn't gonna play, And so I think it's like the pressure. I'm sure he and maybe his camp will have expectations quite high, but I don't think the media has high expectations at all.
Dan Rappaport clearly doesn't.
And I think, well, yeah, Dan Rappaport is an interesting human, but
he has like 24
it's a good
guys
week.
with a better
It's a good
chance than
week
Jordan.
to lurk, I think, Thursday, Friday, and just kind of see what happens.
Yeah, one thing that's come to mind is like, remember when we and it was right because all of us would have had him on our list. Remember in the Masters, we were like, there's like a list of 8 guys and one of them's going to win the tournament.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't think it's like that this week. I think it's a lot more open. A lot more. Open.
If you had to guess how many guys you think?
I think it's a lot. Like,
25.
I'm thinking somewhere in the 30 range. Like I'm thinking like I could see.
I was gonna say 24. I think. Not that I have a specific amount of people.
Like I could see like a Jason Day winning. I could see like a Scotty winning, or I could see honestly like that's a good example.
I mean, Mito was one hole away last year.
Mito.
Yeah, like a Mito, something like that. I could see that all year. So,
yeah, no, I think that's
Mito winning would actually be pretty cool. I won't lie. If he's even playing, I don't even know if he's playing.
He's in
the field.
Yeah,
yeah,
that'd be pretty cool.
Everyone's in the field this week.
I bet Mito is packing up on Friday night. I do not have faith in Mr. Pereira. He missed his shot. He had his chance.
And that was his shot.
He
choked.
Yeah.
He did.
He got electrocuted on 18T. Justin Thomas will not defend this week.
No.
Correct.
I will say that now. I will not apologize for saying that now.
Yep, it will be a Friday night flight to.
No, I don't know.
No, not Justin Thomas for Mr. Roy.
Oh, that would be stunning
back
as well.
to Florida or Northern Ireland or wherever the hell he lives.
Could you imagine Rory going MC?
I'm all aboard the McElroy MC boat this week.
Wow. Why? Just because?
Honestly, it's how he looks. Do you see him? He looks like he's 80 years old right now. He looks like he's been through the ringer the past few. I don't know what's going on, but
yeah, he does look like he's got some stuff going on. So it'll be interesting to see how he plays this week. In theory, this course should fit him to a T, right? But if he gets yeah, but he's played well at Augusta. Yes, he just hasn't closed the door.
We have a guest chiming in.
We shall ask Elise. What
Elise,
she thinks.
will it be
Hello,
a flight home on Friday for Mr. McElroy?
Oh, hello, Elise.
What are your thoughts on Rory
packing his bags on Friday?
Departure, yes.
So Rory's tricky this week, I think, because his recent form has not been good at all. I mean, Whale Hollow, going into last week, he, was gaining, I think, definitely above 2, strokes gained on that course, and just feasts on Quail Hollow usually. And he finished, I forget, 10 T, not even T40, I think. He was And before that, he miscut Augusta. So his recent form has just been horrible. Now he's Rory McIlroy, so he can turn it around, in my opinion, in any time.
I agree.
Maybe we'll see about that. But I do think this is a good course fit. So for him, so that's tricky. But you probably got good odds. So judging by his recent form, he hasn't been good recently.
Would have to agree.
And you
He's
can't
packing the
trust
bags.
that.
Packing the bags. Should we go into our outrights for the week?
Sure.
Do we want to go and then Elise go, or do we want Elise to go and then we go?
I mean, we can be judged by Elise, so we can start.
Yeah, let's do that.
I'll
Okay,
you want me to start?
yes, you
Should I
can.
grade you guys on how well I think they'll do?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, tell
Yeah,
us if
exactly.
it's a bad, better. Good. But to be fair, Elise, on her card this week, this is the first time I ever like she didn't place any bets this week, like
Nope.
all months before.
Yeah.
She's just been sniping great numbers on players that no longer are at said numbers, so that's good. So Jordan, you can guess rolling.
All right, so I already told them I'm rolling with Jordan. I mean, I know Bob and Elise are they both have financial interest on Jordan as well.
Of course, that's every week. If he had been 110-1 with a broken wrist, I still would have had financial.
Yeah, I think
Yep.
I was telling them, Elise, if he doesn't play well, I don't think it's going to be because of the wrist. It's just going to be because he's hitting it all over the place because that's what he did at Wells Fargo, and we
This
learned
course
today.
doesn't fit well for him. I mean,
See, like that was the thing I was telling them. Like, there's some speethy elements, like the around the greens, the bent grass, but then everything else tee to green, is a worry for Mr. Spieth. But
yes.
I mean,
And the
he-
long irons, like
I
Andy
know.
Lack mapped out
I know.
the top
But
100, and too
he's
many-
only going to have how many more chances? We have to
Jordan-
throw money on him.
Jordan
That's
needs
true.
to hit the ball a long way this week. We
Just
need to
bombs away.
limit.
he's gonna fuck up the par threes too, automatically.
Well, that's a given every single year.
Especially like the two, the ones that are like 240, like
He
210.
could play
Yeah,
15
number
well,
11
though.
tomorrow is gonna
Yeah.
be something.
The 240-yard par threes. I'm already right.
11 could be a problem. It could be a problem on paper.
And he's gonna find the creek on at least one hole. You know that.
He might find it twice on 6.
Is there a creek on 18?
no.
Any creek down the stretch?
Well, to be honest, I'll be honest. I thought the stretch of the back 9, like the finishing stretch of the front 9, is more intimidating than the finishing stretch of the back. Like, I think there's
I mean,
more.
17 and 18 are tough.
I mean, 17, 18 are tough, but they're just like kind of straightforwardly tough.
Yeah.
I think Titleist posted a video today of Homa and JT playing 18. JT missed the fairway. He went driver hybrid on 18.
Okay.
Hybrid from the rough. So
Yeah, but that's a Spiethy way to make a
Jeez.
4 at the end of the tournament,
yeah. But should I go with my other outrights?
Yes. Yes.
I mean, so I went Jordan. I went Scotty. I mean,
Ooh.
I placed a future on him 6 weeks ago. I don't know if he'll run away with it player style, but I definitely could see him do it. So I got Scotty, and then I went with one long shot. I went Taylor Moore,
Interesting.
Mr. Valspar himself.
Mm.
He models well here.
He's in good form. I mean, he's
He's been
100
fair.
Playing
He's
really
100
well.
Yeah, I mean, I put 5 of our 200 good at that point, so I'm at 160-1. But I'm just looking at the other names in that range. I know a lot of people like Harris English. I mean, Phil's 160-1. Mito's 160-1. Bryson's 161. So if you're picking one of those 5 dudes, I mean, I do not have a problem with Taylor Moore there.
It's a good list.
Yeah.
I like that list.
Thank you.
You want me to go or you want to go to?
You can go ahead.
Yeah. So I have 2 outrights this week. I have 8 total plays. A little steep for me. I usually don't go very high, but my first pick is Dustin Johnson. Again, I'm taking the gamble that the live play translates. DJ is a winner. I would not be surprised to see him win this week. And then my second one is my pick to win. This is my pick to win, and that is Mr. Tony Finau.
Wow.
I think it's his time.
It could be his time.
He is really good. I know that we put him in the category of like the Xanders of the world, but he's really not. He's broken through.
Well, Xander broke through too. I mean,
He is
last
Xander.
year.
They have the same career.
How
Yeah,
was Tony broken through?
I think Tony is so.
they've gotten the regular win like monkey off the back, but Xander's been
I think Tony's a level above.
Xander's been
Xander
better in
will
majors,
always
though.
be the guy who never
Xander's been
gets
better in
there.
majors, though. I think overall. I
I don't
mean,
think Xander ever wins a major. I think Tony wins at least.
Wow.
that's bold. That's a bold take.
That is stunning.
I
You
don't.
should
I
tweet
I
that.
completely disagree with that.
Tweet that.
I will.
Good. I
I
can't.
think both of
I
them eventually win a major.
No, I don't think Xander ever wins a major.
Big tone over Xander.
Yep.
Xander.
I mean, look, they're both, they both have taken their time to figure out how to win golf tournaments.
It's his time. Tony Finau, give me 20. I love.
Wow.
I love.
What a take. I love that.
That's a
Yeah.
freaking bold take.
We
Xander never wins a major.
we provide. You guys come for the hot takes. We provide.
Now,
I don't think it's
is-
that hot.
Apologize.
Really?
You don't think it's that hot?
That Xander never wins one? No.
I mean, it's just one. Like, it's not like we're saying he wins multiple.
What
I
a
think-
major.
A lot of people
think
can win one major.
If you're
Jason
telling me
Tucker
that
has one
Xander
major.
never wins,
Shawn
I'm
Michael like
stunned.
one like a lot of people can win one major.
Yo,
Leo-
can-
People
Lee
that are,
Westwood
like
never
don't
did.
like Y.E.
There's-
Yang won a major. I mean,
there's a difference
like,
between
people-
can and will.
Right, but Xander.
but all those people won a major that I just named, and they're
How
not
old
as
is
good as
Xander?
Xander.
Yeah.
Xander Schauffele will be the next Rick Fowler.
He's already.
Like career wise, it won't be the same career path, but like resume.
Xander's 29.
He'll be Lee Westwood, is what you're saying.
Yes, you know what? Lee Westwood's perfect. Yes, Lee.
He won't be
West-
Lee Westwood. Lee Westwood's way better than Xander.
Well, yes, but
Wow.
I don't even know who to compare him to. He's just gonna be that guy who
Ricky.
never wins the major.
Ricky.
Yeah, but I think
I mean, Westwood won 25 times on here.
Xander will never get to the depths that Ricky is.
Maybe.
If we're being honest, Ricky is a very over.
I mean, but
for
Xander
sure.
already Xander has 7 PGA Tour wins.
Ricky is not well.
Ricky doesn't have like
Sorry,
Ricky's got a better win than Xander, though.
We are not counting the
Zurich.
Zurich as a win.
Sure.
Let's get that off the plate first. Thank you. So
I think I can
six.
agree with Bob, to be honest, which is weird.
What?
Xander's 29. So let's say he plays till he's 35, and then the window closes. He could go 0 for 24. I mean, Spieth's 0 for his last 20.
Why are you closing Xander's window at 35?
I just think that's a good age to close windows at.
You think
Is
Spieth's
Spieth's
window
close
closing
at
is
35?
35?
I mean, not at Augusta or the Open, but
Interesting.
like,
To be fair, winning a major.
I mean, Xander could easily drop off by 35 and not qualify for these things. I don't think that's impossible.
Wow. Yeah. No,
Who knows? I don't.
No, I don't like totally disagree, but I don't
Wow.
agree.
The chat's just going,
he has 10 top 10s in majors. I mean, let's
and he will be the guy who never gets there. That is my take, and I will stand by it. Thank you.
Wow.
Well, you apologize.
he has
That's
good
a-
finishes
I
in every
will
major.
Not apologize.
I think
in,
it-
like
it
pretty much
is
every major.
Never gonna happen.
I think it's funny too that
NGFH.
like you compare him to Finau, I think is what makes the take hotter in a sense because Finau's always been that dude that hasn't shown up.
Honestly, I see Finau finding some sort of killer down the stretch at some point in his career. I really do. I've seen glimpses of it. I've seen the glimpses.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
And he's had his fair share of stomp.
They both have the same number of top 10s in majors.
You don't really remember. I can't.
They
Really
both have
remember
10 top
Finau really
10s.
going down the stretch very often and winning a tournament. Sure, but like he's had some stompings.
Yeah, Finau,
Where
yeah,
he
when,
showed up on Sunday and closed it out.
right.
Against weak fields, though.
yeah, against nobodies.
But
Well,
like
not nobodies, but
They're nobodies, but
yeah,
he will win a major, and it will be
Okay.
this year.
I don't disagree
And
with
I
that.
will be back in the green where I should be.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he would win the I liked him at the Masters this year. He didn't win.
shocker.
But I also, the problem is too right now is you have to like Ham and Rom and Scotty exist. So
Yeah.
And Spieth.
Wow.
And
All right, Dan, you can go.
Yeah, I appreciate that take. I enjoyed. I'll think about that for a little bit. Actually, it's a good one. So I have one of your plays. I have Dustin Johnson to win as well. I have a few less points on it, but why not? DJ at 30. This seems like a DJ course,
It is.
and it would be a DJ win to just like walk in here, drop a epic comment in his press conference today, and then
That was so vintage.
bring home a major title. So DJ, and then I've got Brooks. Man, I know Brooks. I see people on Twitter saying like, man, Brooks hasn't closed out these last like 3 majors that he's
You're
been
right.
into, and it's like, yeah, because it's hard to do that.
True.
And he's there every time almost. So I'll give Brooks another shot this week, and then hey, I've got Xander, man. Like, I've got some points on him. He's playing
Burning
really
money.
well. He kind of Xandered at the Wells Fargo. That was a little disappointing, but Wyndham Clark played pretty darn well. We shall see. And then this one, Patrick Reed. I've heard a lot of things on Twitter about him,
please no.
and I don't know, man. I think there's something like weirdly special about this dude's game,
He's very talented. He is.
and it could just be.
Short game wise, yes. I mean, the problem is I don't think Patrick Reed can keep up on the length of this course for 4 days.
Yeah. Well, yeah, then Joel Damon is in my head. So I think that's kind of the other thing. But 90-1 for a guy who's has played some decent golf this year, I think is not, and has won a major. Like, I think
$90
Patrick
to
Reed,
1's absurd on Pat Reed, I think.
Pat Reed, like,
I love that play, Dan. I love it.
could do it. And then those are my outrights.
All right. Do we want to go to
Placements.
I guess we can just do everything else.
You want me to go? I can lead.
Yeah.
All right. So I have 1, 2, 3,
Just do the rest of your
3 placements. Okay. So my biggest wager would be 60. Go get that points on Brooks Koepka to top 20. I mean, he's been dominating, Live, which, I mean, that's massive accomplishment. Played great at Augusta. That's kind of all I've needed to see. He's healthy. He's plus money to top 20, which I kind of think is laughable. It's a major. Simple as that. Next placement is Mr. Finau. He's a loser. So, you go to the placement. You go to the top 20 at plus money. That's what you do for losers. So I got 50 of my 200 on him to top 20.
That qualifies as Sung JM, in my opinion.
We're going to another loser, Ricky, the top 20.
Jesus.
What about loser Mickelson? Didn't you say you was somewhere there?
I had to leave Phil off the card. I just
No,
couldn't.
Phil is I
couldn't do it.
don't know.
Well, what was going to be the play?
I was just joking. He was never going to be on the card. But I'm sorry. So I got 30 on.
He is on
Ricky's.
my card.
Wonder how. So I got 30 on Ricky to top 20 at plus 220. I mean, he's been playing great golf, but again, he doesn't win. So you can play well.
The one thing I thought about Ricky, but I worry about his like big miss a little bit. But
he'll have a big miss. He'll have one.
Yeah.
He's hitting the irons too good to.
That'll make him go from T6 to T18.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people have a big miss though this week.
That's true. That's fair.
Jay Spieth. So I'm on my last play.
Oh yeah, like Spieth for sure.
My last play, which
Like-
Mr. Friend of the podcast, Ryan, gave to me. He got an awful number on it too, which made my life easier. No hole in one
Wow.
I almost put
know.
that on the board.
at plus 104. There's really one aceable par 3. That's 15.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
kind of like Augusta with 16, and there was no ace at Augusta this year. And there's no funnel pin at 15 that I know of. So at plus money for no ace, I went with that for 30 of my 200 points.
Just wait for Aaron Rye to ace number 11.
Until like tomorrow morning.
Yeah, tomorrow morning.
Fair. No, that's good.
So be it.
That'd be
Um,
hilarious.
Yeah, so we are On to my plays. I have 6 more. We'll start with the first round leaders. Staple for the Bob camp.
H League.
Unfortunately, no.
This is
It's
not a
in the field
TPC
this
course.
year.
Darn it.
This is not a TPC course.
I know we're talking about majors, but Ranch was last week.
He really disappointed me last week. He really fumbled the bag for me.
It's hard to 3P a major, man.
I mean, he could have done literally anything. But yeah, so I'm gonna go with 2 first round leaders to break even on the week, and that's Rom and Scotty. I'm putting 10 on each. I'm gonna take my chance. You know, they hit, I break even basically, and we're good. So I'm gonna take my chance there. I'm honestly rooting for them to lose because I don't want.
Yeah,
them.
I mean, I do like that for first round leader because they're just, I mean, they're unbettable at their current odds
Yeah,
in terms of outright, and so
Yeah,
you're getting
for
like
sure.
a double the price.
Yeah. I like those 2. I have 2 placements in a miscut as well. I have
The only thing I don't like about them is that they're both in the morning. So
Oh,
I think I think the PM wave will be where the
I-
first round leader comes.
but it's Rob and Scotty. who
but
did it.
it's Ramen Scott exactly. So like I have Rory first round leader.
Yeah.
He's AM wave mostly because I think he's good course fit and I don't trust him to actually close the deal on a major. So I thought first round leader was a better play for him.
Playing home on Friday, correct, Bob?
I pray for a 74 tomorrow out of Rory. That would be so funny. But we're going to Mr. Patrick Reed, top 40, plus 120. I like it. I really do. He's playing good golf. And I think that I don't, you're right. I don't think he can compete with him. I don't think he can win over 4 days with his length, but I do think he'll top 40. So that's my reasoning. I have Gooch to top 40, which I know is on your card as well, Elise.
Yep, I love Gooch.
Gooch is a top 40 machine. He was a top 40 machine when he was on the tour, and he's playing even better than he was on the PGA Tour, I think.
That's true. Yeah, I agree. He's playing really well.
Love that. And then this is a loser. I don't really know why I placed this, but he just stinks so much. And that's Bryson to miss cut. And, I actually do think he's going to make the cut now I think about it, but
Yeah, he sucks.
he could get into some trouble if he tries to play bomb and gauge the entire week.
Does anyone even know his length stats anymore? Because obviously he's slimmed back down.
I think it's still pretty high.
Yeah, I'd
But
imagine.
Promise you have no stats on live whatsoever.
Yeah.
yeah.
Thanks.
And then my final play of the week is a matchup parlay, which is plus 600. And these are just gut feelings. I'm going to start off with Scheffler over McIlroy. That'll cash Friday night. That should be free. Then I'm going to Homa over Morikawa. I don't like Morikawa playing in the morning conditions, and I do kind of see this as a Homa course for some reason. I don't know why. I feel like he's gonna kind of plot his way around. I know Elise has him on the card too. So
Coming from the guy who said he knew nothing about the course.
well, I know stats about the course. I just don't know what the course looks like. I haven't really looked at pictures of the holes. I know what you need to win. I haven't done no research.
What do you need?
What?
What do you need?
You need length. You need what was the stat I was looking at earlier? Hold on one second. I had it pulled up. I can't believe you're putting me on the spot like this.
No, we haven't discussed yet.
What?
Michael Greller.
Yes.
Yes, talk about that.
He's an ankle injury.
Greller?
He's got an ankle injury. They
Are
were
you
talking.
kidding me?
They were talking.
That's more devastating than
The wrist injury. I know. They were talking on live.
Breller kind of needs to. Well,
Greller's got a ankle injury that he will be, of course, fighting through this week.
Are you kidding me?
I mean, it's,
My God, what a
wrist,
warrior.
ankle. This is
And he still got out there early.
no, of
I
course.
mean, that's a
Certain people complain about injuries. Certain continue.
yeah,
to.
certain feel severe pain and others don't. I don't know.
I mean,
that's what the stat I was looking at.
there's clearly no complaining about rust from the Greller camp. I mean,
Proximity to the pin from 190 plus. That was the stat I was looking at. So
interesting. I wonder where Chase be.
that could be devastating.
Down,
So yeah, we're going to home over Morikawa. We'll see. That one's a little iffy. And then my final one, I did say I have Mickelson on the card. I'm going with Mickelson over Jimmy Walker. Plus
Wow.
money really spiked. I think Mickelson is going to come. I think Mickelson's playing good golf right now. I really do.
I think he's gonna hit bombs.
Is he just because he played one?
I think
good
he's
week
going
at
to hit a
Augusta?
ton of seeds this week.
Oh,
It's gonna be a
seeds.
seeds
Hellacious
week.
seeds.
If the
Yeah.
like the rough is really thick, like huge Bills fan on Twitter said that he watched Adrian Moronk like out of the rough and he advanced it like only like 20, I don't know, I think like 20 yards or something.
I saw a
and-
video of Rye advancing
and-
it about 3 feet.
Come on, you really think Phil Mickelson is going to do well on a course that like if he gets in that rough and he can't get the ball out, like a lot of people apparently are struggling to get the ball out of the rough.
Okay, so
Morale
I have two
stinks,
things to
though.
combat that. One, I think he will have a huge advantage around the greens. Because that rough will be up and he's just very good around the greens. I think that it will take a lot of skill around the greens this week with all the slopes on the greens. And two, the guy I have him beating is Jimmy Walker. I mean, this very well could come down to a Friday night sweat on who can miss the cut by less shots. So
That's not how that works, though.
yeah, it is.
Yeah, it
I s-
is.
Really? It's
Yeah.
whoever, if they both,
If they
Yeah.
both miss a cut, it's whoever does whoever
that
like
is
did better.
stunning. That is
So
awful.
if someone like got +8 and let's say Phil did +5, Phil wins the matchup, that matchup hits.
Yep.
So you'll just be rooting on the bogeys, but less bogeys from Mickelson.
Well, I love Mickelson, so I'll be rooting for tons of birdies. In fact, I bet I'll have a $5 wager on Mickelson by the time I go to sleep tonight.
I think
But-
there'll be a fist pump out of Mickelson tomorrow. I could see that.
Really?
I could see a
That's-
Thursday fist pump.
Well, I
That's kinda-
mean, to be fair, Mickelson fist bumping in the first round it's almost moving day at that point on Liv.
Yeah.
He might be used to the Thursday morning.
No, I mean
So
the high flyer will be high. He will be flying high.
I would love to see Mickelson in contention. That
Jimmy
was
Walker
so
played well at
chills.
Mexico and Wells Fargo. He played decent.
Yeah,
Jimmy,
Jimmy Walker's
Walker's
been playing
actually
good
been
golf.
playing all right though too. That
Yeah,
was-
Yeah, but Jimmy
I
Walker's an old.
I don't like that. I think that's a.
Are you calling him
play.
old when
You're
you're
calling
backing
him
Phil
old in
against
comparison to Phil.
It's a bunch of old guys going at it, and I'm taking the more recent PGA championship winner.
That's fair. No, that's very fair.
Picking the boomers. Got it.
All
If
right.
that's the play that sells, I'll be very sad.
Yeah. I
That could reverse fade, honestly.
we'll see. I bet I wouldn't be shocked if Max Homa had a short week actually.
What
my
makes you
plays.
say that?
He just hasn't been good. He really hasn't. He's wiping. I feel like he's wiping his irons a little bit. I think the confidence isn't like as high as it was. I think he'll have some issues. I also just Morikawa, like I feel until the wind starts blowing on Friday, I feel pretty good about him playing well on Thursday, which transitions right into my first play. I've got Colin Morikawa and Cam Smith, two separate plays, but both to be in the top 10 after round one. I like it's not going to blow. The wind is not blowing tomorrow as much as it could. Colin Morikawa is pretty good in majors, especially when the
Yes.
wind does not blow. So I like that. And then Cam Smith, I don't like his chances to win overall, but I think he could have a day where he just makes everything. And why not round one? So I'm going with him there. Both of those guys were 4-1. And then in my 2 to 3 other plays, I've got Patrick Reed over Corey Connors. Reed was at +110 over Connors. Corey Connors has been terrible at majors, particularly the US Open and the PGA Championships. And I like Patrick Reed this week. And then Keegan Bradley, top 30. He hasn't been playing amazing, but he's actually been decent at these events, including a T7 last year at Brookline. So I'm kind of banking on a little bit of form there, and I thought it was pretty good value.
That's incredible.
I remember that so blatantly because I had Keegan Bradley top 5, and I remember watching him collapse down the stretch to throw that away.
Yeah,
Because I was there, and I remember watching him walk up the 18th hole, and I was like, I'm never gonna forgive you for this. He was like T2 the entire day.
yeah,
Just like not really in it because he was like 6 holes ahead, and they just went like bogey, bogey, bogey on like 15, 16, 17.
yeah. So I'm hoping he builds himself a buffer for that top 30. And then my final play, which I know is going to hit, I have Jordan Spieth to Spieth. And I have put 200 points on that, which guarantees me the win in this contest. Thank you very much.
Can we define Spieth?
It will hit the first tee shot on
Jordan,
on
you'll
Thursday.
know.
You'll know. I mean,
No
it
way.
might even be on the range. Like if he just shows up tomorrow and as soon as that backpack with the thing goes on, like I think it's
Oh, God.
McCormick's there for an hour before I feel pretty good about this one. The odds were fantastic. So
Jay Spieth is a part of the first hole tomorrow.
he really does.
I think that's very important.
Well, especially because he's starting on the back and 11's an auto bogey. So
Yeah. 10
It's,
seems pretty. Yeah, 10 seems pretty benign. Yeah. 11. Good luck.
12, 13, 14 is a stretch. Or
Did you guys see the pin location on 2? Looks horrendous.
is 2 the long par 3, or is it?
I've not seen pin locations yet.
They're out.
I gotta do some course research after we get off this podcast. Make sure I'm prepared for tomorrow. I was looking at Keegan Bradley's performances in the PGA. So he won his debut in 2011. His first 3 performances are his best 3. 11, 12, 13 are his best performances in the PGA, and all the ones since have been worse than those 3. That's wild.
Interesting.
Well, I mean, he like kind of fell off the map in my opinion for a while. He's like playing better now again.
Thank you for the Rory chat. The Rory hate in the chat, by the way.
What is the chat saying? I can't see it.
They're talking about him being a poster child for the tour, and I'm just like, yeah, bring it, keep going, keep going.
Yeah,
Rory
was
dug
a little.
a hole and did not bring a ladder. He doesn't watch the videos, I guess.
I used to be. I mean, I've definitely become less of a Rory fan. Like I used to be, like Rory, but after Tiger, of course, and then like there was a gap because Tiger was like injured.
Yeah.
So then I became a huge fan of Rory,
I was with you.
and then Spieth came, and I still really liked Rory, and but just recently, like this past year, I just have become like less of a fan.
I was a Rory fan like until I caught on to Spieth in 2014.
Well, I was still a heavily Rory fan, like even up until like 2021. I mean, really heavy. And now, like, yeah, just like only like 2022 is like dampened my like Rory love.
Love to hear it.
Yeah,
Andy Lack likes Rory.
Funny thing is, I
Who?
feel like Rory's
A
Mr.
lot of people
Lack.
like Rory. Kyle Porter was
Also
saying
likes
first.
Cam Davis.
Oh, that kind. Yeah,
Yes.
Cam Davis.
Cam Davis.
But then again, I like Cam Young, and Cam Young is a
Oh, my
freaking
God.
fraud.
No way he wins this
Three.
week, right?
He's a fucking fraud. I'm sorry. He's such a fraud.
Elise, what will you do if Cam Young sneaks out a win this week?
I will buy myself a Louis Vuitton purse with the winnings and be done with him finally.
Oh wait,
Nice.
you're on him.
Yes, unfortunately.
Of course.
Oh yes, you are. I just saw. Yep. Go
There's a
Young.
FOMO.
I will never forgive Young for his loss to the match play. That was awful.
That was awful. I mean, luckily we had Cam Smith, but we had at the Open. But I mean, he obviously came up short there.
We had him at the PGA too.
Yep. I mean, I've had him so much.
Yeah, you've literally been betting on him since like I think like the PGA of last year. Like, I
Yeah.
remember because you had Zalatoris, I think, too, at the PGA. No.
Yeah. Yes, I had. Yes,
Zalatoris.
I did have Zalatoris.
And of course, Thomas won.
This the guy can't. The guy's 177th on tour and putting.
Yeah, they both stink at putting.
Man,
He just like.
It-
I watch him drive the ball. It's like the freaking best. It's so good. It's like watching Rory drive the ball. Just
Yeah,
like
he-
you can
he
watch it
does
all
have a
day
sick
long.
swing.
I can watch it all day long. His swing on the driver, but then like
Yeah, I love him.
the putting. You guys think Spieth's bad?
Not anymore.
Watch
no,
Cam
no.
Young.
I can't
Watch
even imagine being
Cam
a
Young.
Cam Young fan, like diehard fan, like live and die.
Yeah.
That would be awful.
Jay Spieth can take a big step this week, can he, Dan?
he certainly can. We are on the end of recession watch. I do believe a win needs to be had to kind of end it officially, but Mr. Putter's been pretty good recently. And I think too this week another really important
I think watch out
stat
for Mr. Putter this week.
is inside of 10 feet. I've seen a lot of guys talk about like you're just gonna have to scrap for some pars out here.
Yeah.
And if you can save some 8-9 footers, you're gonna be helping yourself out quite a bit. So that'll be necessary for S. Cameron to show up for sure.
Before
Gotta-
we
I got
Would
a
you-
bold take real quick. I have a bold take. Jay Spieth will be top 5 in putting this week.
Oh,
Mm,
hello.
that
I
is
like
a bold
it.
take.
It's funny because these greens, you know what they kind of remind me of?
What?
Different surface, different speed. They are not that slopey. From what
Yeah.
I've read some things, and they kind of remind me of open greens. They don't break a whole lot. They're faster, obviously. They're going to be faster.
Yeah.
I think there's not a whole lot of movement in
They're a
them.
little Beth Pagey.
As long as you're, as long as you're below the hole. If you're above the hole, it's going to be quick.
Yeah. Well, you haven't also done the right levels because I've heard there's like.
there's
like-
a lot of big slopes, right?
Yeah.
There's just not a lot of like,
It's not winged
Yeah.
foot.
If your approach
Yeah.
is not, but that's more of your approach shot because your
I can
approach
see a lot
shot's
of
not
10
the
to
right
20
level.
footers.
You're
He just needs to
screwed.
give himself the
okay,
look.
that's good to hear. What was I
I
gonna
like
say?
that call, Jordan. That's what
Thanks,
I wanna
Dan.
hear.
Before we wrap up, what do you realistically, what time do we think Jay Spieth hits his ball tomorrow?
I'm gonna say 9:32.
10,
There's
15.
there's gonna be a frost
something
delay,
like that.
so
Did you say Jordan?
10, 15.
Oh, that would be
Well, let me look at the actual weather because I'm just talking out of my butt here.
I think it's gonna be an hour and a half frost delay.
yeah, I was gonna say around
It's at least an hour.
So I forget what the
Um,
exact tee time is, but
It's at least an hour. So I think at best it's 9:22, but
no, I
think
think it's gonna be 10. Yeah, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be
10.
closer to what Jordan said.
I think 10 is probably a good
Yeah.
bet.
yeah.
Which is unfortunate, but what can you do?
Yeah.
So I think again, which has been a very recurring theme in 2023, is we're in jeopardy of not going to be finishing the first round on the first day.
Yeah,
Seems
They sh-
impossible.
they should be able to catch up on Friday though, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
It'll be warm on the
So-
weekend, right?
Yes. Or yeah. It won't be. I think Thursday morning is the only time where it's going to be this cold because I think it moves out. This like cold front is moving, and that's why it's going to be so windy on Friday.
Yeah.
Or
But
Friday.
that's
morning.
actually, I mean, so I think that makes the like if the late people get pushed into Friday, that's
Mhm.
gonna be bad for them.
I think I sneaky think AM PM might be the wave
Yeah,
for
which
leading
now
come
makes me kind of
Friday end.
I'm rethinking the first round leader.
well because if it's going to be pushed back an hour and a half, then
Right.
those guys like you're going to get Sean Michiel teeing off at 8:30, which means that like Rom or everybody else is going to go off at like 10:30.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
you
that's-
want another
this
bold
is
take?
why I don't make outrights with with weather in mind because the weather like delays happen, and also I heard like course like the because of the way the course is playing, like the rounds could be really long.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
open kind
Remember
of style
Southern Hills last year? Oh,
rounds.
Yeah, that was bad.
that was like
Yeah.
6-hour rounds.
Yeah, the Open was 6 hours too.
Well,
Yeah,
because of
that was
Mr.
brutal.
Andrews, but
But I think that was because there was more like waiting for people to hit
yeah,
though.
yeah.
So hopefully, I think it'll be tough, but hopefully the rounds are like 5.
You guys want another bold take?
Yes.
AM, and maybe this will get Elise, thinking. I think there will be a 64 or 65 fired.
Woo! I like that. I'd agree.
I think it's
By
very
who?
doable. I don't know by who. I can't help you there, but
Jordan Spieth.
Well, I mean, there are the better golfers. They stacked a lot of the. I mean, they stacked. I think Rom Scheffler and Roy are on the early.
and Spieth.
just don't think this place is going to be like. I think LACC is going to be really, really hard. I don't think this place is going to be really,
Yeah.
really, really
It's-
hard.
Yeah,
It's
you know what?
interesting.
I'm kind of with you, Jordan. I don't see this winning score being 5 under par.
All right.
I don't think it will be either.
I think too many putts will be made, honestly.
like, I mean,
That's a fair point,
You
actually.
think
you
it'll be
can-
single over under
I mean, it could be like
9,
9.
over-
It could be 9.
over under 9.5?
I'm going under.
I'll
I think
take
I would-
9.
I think I would go under all the way to like 7.5. 6.5, then I'd have to think about it.
And like, you can play the ifs. Well, I mean, I'm going to play the ifs and buts game here, but like,
So the
Southern
par,
Hills
I don't
should
think
have
the par
been
fives are like
less than it.
the par fives are what length are they?
They're
not really
600
reachable.
plus. Par fives
so-
aren't reachable.
They're not reachable. So I mean, and then you have let's see.
It's funny because
There's
I've-
enough scoreable holes.
I mean, there's some scoreable holes, yeah, there
Yeah.
for sure. Like
and if it's as firm as like the fairways are as firm as guys are saying, like there'll be tee balls that are hit 340.
yeah,
you
there's some
know?
par fours that are not that long. Like
It's just
12's
a
not that
bold
long,
prediction.
14's
part.
not long.
Yeah.
There's just not
uh,
many courses that
two.
come to mind that these guys just can't handle.
Yeah, no, it's fair. I think too, it's funny because I've seen guys like Joel Damon said, like, yeah, I didn't think it was hard as I thought. And then I've seen things where guys are like, oh my God, this course is really hard.
I feel they do that a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of unknowns. So
I just feel LACC is gonna.
Yeah, you're
I think that
yeah, I
course
mean,
is
I
going
do
to
think though, if you're
bring-
playing from the rough all day, you're gonna
Yeah,
You're just-
I mean, if you're
you're
playing
I've
from
seen,
the rough,
I've
something
seen some
really
pictures
high.
of LACC. That place looks daunting.
I think that place will. I
Jay
think
Spieth will
500
need to
best
bring
there.
every trick in his.
yes.
Full
You'll also need to bring a fully healthy and practiced game.
he's gonna need to bring a shovel.
Yes.
But that's for another time.
Yeah.
We have a slam to win.
Are
That's
we?
what's most important.
Who do you think plays better? This is Spieth or JT?
That's tough. I mean, JT's been not good, but
He played well a few weeks ago, right?
I think JT's. I mean, I don't know.
JT's
think
the
I-
safer pick. I think Spieth has a higher ceiling.
Ooh. That's a take.
No, because I think Spieth could miss the cut. I don't know. I don't think JT's gonna miss the cut. I can
Yeah.
easily see him finish like T37, but can
I
Spieth
think-
be the T37?
I think JT will find himself lurking after day 2.
Yeah.
I just don't know if I don't know if his game is in the spot quite yet where
Fair.
he'll be there. So I'll go JT, I think. But of
Alright.
course I would be happy to not see that happen.
Of course.
we need a high stack performance tomorrow from J Spieth.
Yeah. I think that my overall remark for this entire podcast is we need to show up with a large sack
Yeah,
and play just large sack golf.
yeah. I mean, you get one chance at this a year. Like,
Yeah. That's true.
We
Listen
can't
to
be
earlier.
we
I
showing
mean,
up.
that's
with-
and do it for Greller's ankle too.
Greller's doing this
Yeah,
on a bone
do it for
ankle.
Greller. Can we get a get well
least did
Greller
you-
in the chat, please? I didn't even know that.
Yeah. You were on when Jordan said that Greller has an ankle issue, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's
Listen to Greller.
That's massive news, man.
No double bogeys this week. That's another thing.
Jay Speed needs to be a kind gentleman and not make Greller walk all over the planet this week.
Yeah.
No
that'd
double
be nice.
bogeys. I mean, that yeah, he's gonna make at least one double bogey.
It's the problem.
Yeah.
Like we have the Bills fan in the chat. He knows losing. Like, I mean, I don't want to lose this week. All right, I'm just trying to joke here. But the whole point is like he's saying like he's gonna hit it in the water on 6 down the right side. And I'm like, that's okay, because if it goes in the water, it's gonna clear land. You drop probably 190 yards out, make bogey. That's
Yeah,
what Spieth needs to figure
like,
out.
I
on
don't
11,
know
for
about that
instance,
on 6 though.
245-yard par 3. He's gonna double bogey there at least once.
That's the problem. If
Well-
we're going in with that mindset, he's never gonna win a PGA.
Well, yeah, it's true. But the other thing about 6, like I think if
Well,
you
he-
hit it in the water, I think it's more like 230
Yeah.
after the
I'm gonna have
drop.
to do some research tonight.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean, if it because it's
depends
playing
where it
500 on the
crosses.
card, so we'll see.
Spieth
Also, I
has
would,
won majors before double bogeying, though.
yeah, I
which-
will say there's.
True.
I would be
Everyone's
shocked
double
if
bogeying like at least
He made a
one
double at
hole.
Augusta, didn't he? He made a double at
Mhm.
Chambers.
Yep,
I don't think he made a double at Brookdale.
I
felt
mean-
like he did.
It felt like it did.
So, no, I think Spieth could miss like right of the creek on 6. I don't know if that is that OB or no. I don't think so, right?
I mean, there's bunkers left.
Well,
Yeah,
they,
there's a bunker left, and
yeah.
then there's
think
internal
that
OB
bunker's that
left as
deep.
well.
Please no miss right.
I mean, it's just it.
The game
Yeah.
will be in a fuzzy place if that's happening.
Yeah, it should be. His swing looked good on the videos that we saw, so
Yeah.
just have to keep waiting and seeing.
I think you could play from the rough too, just not consistently, because you can run balls up. A lot of guys have been saying that, which
I'd
makes
agree.
sense.
Yep,
You
Yeah,
just can't be
which
in
is
there
good. It's
consistently.
also like it's a good. I know we're kind of going on here, but that's a good. Like if you're gonna make the rough hard to advance it, like at least let the guys get it up on the green somehow and still require a good shot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think another thing, do not mess up your birdie chances. Find the fairway on the holes that are birdieable,
Would agree.
because that will be the problem. If you're finding the rough, I mean, you're just taking birdie chances off the card.
Right.
Like you just can't do that, because if you're coming from the rough, making birdie is going to be really difficult. I think
I would
par is
agree.
attainable, but I mean, on the birdie holes, you want to be coming from the fairway to where you can get it close.
I worry, just in general. I don't know if Spieth has the patience right now to win a major.
I mean, you hope he would learn his lesson at some point.
I just.
so he's like
hasn't
a
done that
stubbornness.
ever.
Like he's such a stubborn,
Would
such
agree.
a stubborn person. Like, I mean, when he wasn't playing that well, he like does the same things. It's like,
I mean, let me put it like this, Dan. If he plays like he did at Augusta, it will probably come down to making the correct choices.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah.
I'd agree. He hit it well at Augusta.
Mhm.
So
he just made some horrible decisions. For instance, like on
Yes,
a
he did.
Thursday, and then on round 3, just like
yeah,
Well,
round
yeah,
3
round
was brutal. Cannot have a 76 out here.
Agreed.
cannot have like your bad day can't like that's like partly why he's not winning majors anymore. I feel like he's like your bad day can't be, and this is why like Rory and up and like JT got bailed out, but like for example, Rory Southern Hills last year, like he had your horrible day you need to salvage it. You need to salvage it. And Spieth cannot do that anymore right now.
Yeah, 72 at worst, I think.
Yep.
This week.
And whereas like he used to do that. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a good point.
Another
Awesome.
opportunity. That's all we
Yes,
can
no,
ask for.
I'm excited. I was talking about it. Like, I'm ready to go. Got to cue up that theme music.
Yeah.
Get me some coffee in the morning. I don't even drink coffee.
Ooh, it'll be a coffee morning for
I
you.
have to go to
truly.
the store tonight. I think I'm just gonna bump the theme music in the car the entire way.
Nice.
Get me
There you go.
rocking.
Roll down the windows too. Let the people
Yeah,
know.
Let everyone
exactly.
hear.
Let the residents of Munster.
It is a chilling theme, I won't lie.
The host city of the Masters.
Yeah, it's a good-
Let
it's a
them hear
good
the
one.
theme.
I'm excited.
But yeah, are we good? Do we think?
No, yeah. I mean, we're what 11 hours. Got to get some sleep.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Agreed.
I think it's a good time to wrap it up and
Yes. Please.
speak
short
with
frost.
everyone.
Please, Spieth, get well, Greller.
Yes.
Thank you all for tuning in. We appreciate you. Thank you, of course, to Elise as always, because she's
Yes.
the best.
Thank you.
Glad to
Elise.
be on.
Of course, we're glad to have you. And you'll be back for LA Country Club, which will be a fun podcast.
Yeah,
Mm,
I'm really excited for LA Country Club because
Yeah.
I'm from California originally, so but I've never seen LA Country Club, but
Oh.
yeah, just
Still.
Dan-
That's my
And-
favorite course of the year.
Good luck to the Celtics.
Thank you. Up
no.
nine
The
currently.
Celtics, no.
Would have to agree. I'm rooting
Poor
for
Dan.
Come
Poor
on.
Dan.
Boston has so many like the Celtics have so many championships.
Yeah, but we
The
but we
Patriots have all
experience a lot
the,
of
you guys just
pain.
have so many like champions. Why do you need more?
I'm sorry, Elise, but the Lakers are worst case scenario.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, it can't be LeBron. It
We-
just can't. But
we-
we ramble and we always go off on these tangents.
I kind of agree on. I mean, well, if LeBron delivered a championship, maybe my view would change of him. But right now, he's a fraud, complete
Thank
He
fraud.
you
choked
for
last night.
not.
It's
Thank you
not-
for not including the bubble championship as delivering a championship to LA. I
Correct.
appreciate that. That was
the
The bubble
bubble
does not
counts.
count. The bubble
Come
does not
on.
count.
It-
Literally the four same teams that were in
No.
the bubble are here.
Yes.
The bubble's fake basketball.
The
Okay.
bubble was not real. It could have been just a figment of our imagination.
Might have been
Is
the
there even real
purest
evidence that
football.
it happened?
Well, that's okay.
I don't follow. I mean, I really don't follow the NBA anymore. I was I was a
LeBron
huge
turned you
NBA
off. Yeah. I
huge-
mean,
it's just not the same game. It's a 3-point. It's a 3-point game.
Oh,
It's
I wonder
very
who did
soft.
that.
What?
Steph Curry, maybe. Steph Curry just started jacking all the threes, and then you stopped watching.
Well, everyone like then everyone started playing like that, and it's just
Yeah.
like
only one guy can do that.
it's not.
Tell that to Jordan.
It's not the Michael Jordan like game. Like, where's like the roughing like, and
Oh,
and
roughing
people
the
are
passer?
flopping like
LeBron
they're
brought a
soccer
soft
players.
era
It's
to
like
the
soft.
NBA.
Yeah, it's like Michael Jordan had to go up against like the Detroit Pistons. I mean, you saw
Yes.
like there was like hustle, and like these players are just now like so.
Soft.
I mean, because
Yeah.
basketball was my sport like in before I got into running, but like that I was varsity all 4 years of high school basketball, also in track and field and cross
Pelicans.
country, but like the yeah,
You're disappointed.
I just yeah, I don't
Not
I
the
just
same.
I can't watch this NBA anymore. It's just not the same.
It's all right. Yeah. I'm just
Well-
excited for Mac Jones. Come on now.
That's
Mac
for
Jo-
another
oh my-
podcast. That's for another podcast. I'm not talking about Mac Jones right now because I will be here till 10.
We should have
Um,
you guys should do like like other sports podcast for
Would agree. In
Come
the
the
off
off
season,
season, we could. Yeah. Come the
Yeah.
off season.
I mean, we kind of do every like last 5 minutes or so.
Yeah.
But
We're
thank you
sports
guys
people.
really for coming along for these long podcasts. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, this was good.
I know you guys were really fiending for this podcast, given everyone wanted to know what we were doing, what was up with Speed. So tomorrow, early wake up, get your coffee, snuggle
Shout
up
out
in
to Huge
bed,
Bills
turn
fan
the
for
TV
being
on,
there,
and enjoy.
shout out to Huge Bills fan for being there and
Yes,
providing us
yes,
with like
yes,
a bunch of
yes,
info
yes.
and
I've
pictures. Yep.
been
Yep.
very deep on the inside info, so we appreciate.
And shout out to
Hopefully that
Greller.
will come throughout the week. Throughout the week. What'd you say, Dan?
I just said shout out to Greller.
Yeah, get well.
I would donate my ankle for him.
I
I'd donate
would-
both of my ankles. Just
I
to-
would donate my entire body for Michael Greller. So
Yeah, I would agree.
yeah, but peace and love to all.
Speed be with you.
Yes.
Yep.
Please slam. Goodbye, everyone.
Good night.